by Outdoor Vitals, makers of performance first, ultralight gear. And of course, my cohort in crime with me today, Jeremiah Stringer, the king of Kentucky backpacking. Happy 300th birthday, man.
Same to you, man. 5 years going strong. And here we are. We started this show, January of 2020, and celebrate the 300th episode today.
It's crazy to think about. It's really, really crazy to think about. We started this thing 5 years ago, and we are still going.
Yeah, we've come so far, man. What up, folks in the chat? I already see a few comments trickling in for those joining us live. For people catching the replay, it is around noontime on New Year's Eve. So, kind of a pop-up in the middle of the day. Very abnormal, but I'm on Christmas break, and I think John's on a little vacay right now. Are you just off work today?
Yeah, our offices are closed the week after Christmas. So works out well for us.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
And if you're listening live, this is probably coming out on New Year's Day. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, if you're just catching the drop, Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah. So basically, Jeremiah, the next time I talk to you will be next year.
That's right, baby. That's right.
Crazy.
Oh, by the way, I went on an overnighter over the weekend, and I got to try out the new Shadowlight Carbon. And yes, I know a lot of people have already got their hands on it. I'm a little bit later to the party, but this was my first chance of breaking it out. And I got to tell you, I wish I had got my hands on it sooner, because the old one-handed hip belt pocket that they claim, I am here to confirm that is right. Breaking news. You heard it here first. You can open and close the hip belt pockets on the Shadowlight Carbon 60 with one hand. So that is an absolute game changer for me.
So you don't have to reach around and like hold it awkwardly and all that kind of stuff.
Not only that, they have positioned the water bottle pocket where I can take my stiff shoulder, can rotate and get my hand back there and take my Nalgene in and out. So
wow,
they've done some good stuff on the Shadowlight.
So if engineering witchcraft going on down there at Outdoor Vitals.
Yeah, you can check them out at outdoorvitals.com. We'll link it in the description. They got all kinds of gear, backpacks, clothes, food, anything you can think of to get you in the outdoors, outdoorvitals.com. And by the way, they do have 3 new pieces of gear coming early 2026.
Yeah, how exciting is that?
Yeah, I got the email. I did not win. Apparently some guy named Steven won, and he's going to get to
wouldn't it be kind of shady if either one of us won that?
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, I think even if we did win, I don't think they would give it to us. So
yeah, they do. They are our title sponsor of the show. I get it. So, but they have the Zulu down jacket. We need to get in with on a meeting with
I know we do.
One of our peeps from Outdoor Vitals and get a sneak peek of this, and maybe we can trickle out some good info to the folks. But
I agree.
The Zulu down jacket, the Carbon Evo 50 pack, and the Cirque Ultralight tent. I think the 50-liter pack strikes my fancy. It's what I'm most excited about, but can't wait to get my hands on that new gear 2026.
I know. I'm curious what the Zulu jacket is. It sounds like it's from Africa.
I feel like they have so many jackets that fit all kinds of different situations. They got active ones that are for heavy winter. They got lighter ones. They got the ultralight. Like all the different roles. What are they going to do different on this jacket to make it even better? That's what I'm curious to see.
And they always seem to accomplish it. So that makes me really curious what it's going to be like.
Yeah, dude, it's easy working with Outdoor Vitals.
Yeah,
they're always innovating.
So Jeremiah, somebody has been watching Mr. Backpacking with Jason's most recent video because they said, well, if it isn't Jeremiah, get a lie, man, on video. The corners were quite a. Watch the video. And are you there?
I'm still here. I think that you were cutting out there. You said that we had.
Oh no!
You said that somebody is watching Jason's new video. I'm assuming you're talking about the Fiery Gizzard Trail that we got to enjoy together.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And what
That
was,
was, quite the video, and you look quite interesting with cornrows.
oh, yes. I turned that video on for Bridget yesterday. We were doing some laundry here while the baby was taking a nap. And I set the iPad up and I said, you got to check out this. In the first like 45 seconds, Jason was on there showing off my cornrows. And I said, yeah, boy, look, Bridget, you got to learn how to do this so I can wear these all the time.
Yeah, I thought it was quite the look for you, man, personally. I think you make quite the interesting, cornrowed human being.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm looking forward to the next opportunity.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna do that probably with my beard next. So
The
that should be a
cornrow
good look for
beard.
me. What do you think? Should I go for it?
Yeah, yeah. If you can find some way to tie in the mustache too, that'd be fantastic.
I'm gonna have to grow the mustache out to pull that off, but we can see what we can do. Maybe I could just do like just the sides and leave this alone and just have this cornrowed. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Figure
We're
it out.
John always innovating as well.
I try. That's like my big goal in life. Hey, let's talk a little bit. Christmas just happened this past week, and I'm sure a lot of you out there got some sort of outdoor gifts and those kinds of things. Jeremiah, let's talk a little bit about our best Christmas gifts we ever were given when it comes to backpacking.
Well, I'm going to focus in on this year, what Christmas looked like for me. I don't know why, but my left AirPod, these are like Gen 2. I had the very original Gen 1 AirPods. I tried the Pro Max or the Max or whatever, and they hurt my ear. So I went with the regular, and then I lost them on a trip like out Cave Run Lake backpacking. The last known location, according to the Find My app, is right where my truck was parked for the beginning of that trip. So when I got in, I must have dropped them out of my pocket or something. So I bought the second generation, and over the last year or two, the left one, for some reason, it's getting kind of funky, not dirty. It's just when I take it out, my music stuff keeps playing. I tried cleaning it, tried cleaning the
Huh.
case. I looked it up online, and I guess it's a normal issue. And I don't know, it just kept messing up. So I put it on my Christmas wish list, that the latest and greatest newest AirPods. And then to my amazement, my wife actually that was one of her gifts that she gave me. She got me some new AirPods, the fourth generation. And so that was probably
That's
one of my
cool.
favorite gifts. And I broke them out on my overnighter. I tried wearing them at night because they have noise cancellation. And a lot of people say you don't need earplugs out there. You need to be aware of your surroundings. Not me. I like to stick my head in the sand and be totally unaware, situationally unaware. I don't want to hear anything. If I get attacked by a bear, it's my time to go. So that was probably one of my top gifts. I'll start there. What about you?
You know, I think one of my favorite gifts actually came from Mr. Backpacking with Jason Sir.
Oh,
He
yeah.
gave you and I both a quilt cover, an underquilt cover for our quilts when it rains and stuff, so our quilts don't get splash up and mud on them and stuff in the wintertime or in the summertime or whenever we're using them. What I found about it is in the summer, when I don't want to use an underquilt because they just get too hot, I can use that underquilt cover, and that takes care of drafts and works for my underquilt in the summertime. And it's been one of the best gifts anybody's ever given me for backpacking.
Yeah, that's a genius idea, dude. I wouldn't even think of that. Do you ever get any condensation issues with that, or is it like summertime, everything evaporates so quick and it don't even really
Yeah,
matter?
I haven't experienced any. Doesn't mean that it won't happen, but I just haven't experienced any. But it was a great deal just as far as, in the summer it just gets hot, especially here in Kentucky and south of here. And some nights don't get below 75 degrees. And an underquilt just makes your uh dang it, your hammock really, really uncomfortable. And so having the underquilt cover instead of an underquilt, it's amazing how much that helps out.
Well, I got to tell you, dude, I think that you have just lightened my backpack in the summer backpacking by about 10 or 12 ounces. Because instead of taking instead of taking that that summer underquilt, I'll try out your idea. Here, I'll give you another one. I think you'll really like this because for those that don't know, if you're not a longtime listener of the show, you haven't heard all 300 episodes. You haven't heard when, we had Matt Treese on from outdoorbeards.com and you all started totally geeking out just in the middle of the episode over Star Wars. And, wow, that really brings me back. I don't know how I pulled that out of my hind end.
Well,
but
funny you say that because I've got the Star Wars hoodie and the Star Wars Columbia hat on right now. So that's kind of interesting that you bring up Star Wars.
Dude, you're not going to believe this. I passed up 3 Star Wars shirts in my closet to make myself a floating head today because,
nice.
Yeah, if y'all can't see, I have on the Mossy Oak camo long sleeve tee, but we could have been matching together, man. But alas, this morning, whenever I got up and got ready, I put on my new bathrobe, and this is from the in-laws, dude. I've been wanting one for a while, and I guess my wife told them. I have now a new Jedi bathrobe, and basically
nice.
It's got the Rebel logo over here on the chest. It's made of like towel material, so it's kind of heavy. You can really feel it on there, keeps you nice and warm. And the best part, it's got a hood, and when you put the hood on, it's Yoda. So like his ears are sticking out. It's freaking
You know what this means, right? You know what this means? That means that now you have to do an entire episode with that robe on and talk like Yoda the entire time. Can we get some votes on that, people? Everybody give a thumbs up in the chat if you'd like to see Jeremiah do Yoda for the entire episode of a podcast. Real quick, Robert Schreffler, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, Robert. The best gift I got this year was the backpacking podcast. That was awful nice.
That is so sweet. That's awesome, man.
One of my best gifts I ever got was last year. My little boy was 6 years old, and he went to Walmart with my wife, and they picked out presents for us and everything. And my son got me a knife.
Oh.
Now, it's not the best knife I own. It's not. It's an outdoor, whatever, the Ozark Trail. It's an Ozark Trail knife. But I'm going to tell you, point blank, I love that knife. And it's probably going to go in a display case at some point. And Devin Ashby voted down to you being Yoda.
Well, he's a professional. He knows what makes good content.
Everybody outvote that man. Although we do have 3 thumbs up directly after him. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, that is sweet, Jack, giving you a knife. Anything like that from your child is special, you know.
Well, he knows that I love knives. And so the fact that he bought that gift knowing I would like it, that was really cool.
Yeah, dude, that is sweet. I'll give you one more that's backpacking related that I got. Jonathan from Woodall Trails, shout out. They actually went to Dolly Sods. I wasn't able to go, but I saw it. Bro, have you seen the YouTube short that he put out of their trip?
I haven't had a chance to yet.
Oh my gosh. Well, they have several people that you've met or that you know from the past that went on this trip. He had quite a few people that went. It was the weekend after Christmas. Busy time. We had family Christmas, everybody coming to our house and stuff. But I couldn't go. They drove over to Dolly Sods and he took this clip and I was like, who are all these people? Are they in his group? And it turns out, no, all the people in his group, like I said, is people that you've met and you know, but they were filming a different crew. I don't know if Jonathan and his crew was set up at camp or what, but they were crossing a river. And dude, you have to watch it. It's like a bunch of young guys. They're crossing the river. They take off their shoes. They have trash bags, like white kitchen trash bags, tied around their legs up to their knees. They're like crossing this raging river because there's a bridge out and it is about knee deep, maybe thigh deep. They got their pants rolled up. One guy, he's holding his boots in his right hand. He the whole time is scooping his boots down into the water, trying not to fall. And then he falls, gets soaked up to his backpack. And there's like 8 of them crossing this river, dude. And I guess Jonathan and his crew tried to convince them not to cross it. They were like, it's way too dangerous here. Y'all need to, like, if you're going to cross it, unsnap your hip belts and try to be safe about it. But y'all need to go on upstream where it's not as rapid, and find a different place to cross. But I guess they did not heed the warning. And the clip's only like 40 seconds long.
Oh,
You'll have to watch
wow.
it on YouTube. Yeah, but
I'm gonna
anyway,
have to watch it. He
I said
sent it
all
to me. I
this
just haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
I said all that basically to say him and his wife got Bridget and I a couple little gifts for Christmas, which is very, very sweet. His was awesome. The favorite thing that I got from him was he got this little mini lantern. It's like the size of a $50 and it rotates every direction. You click it, it's USB-C chargeable. You click it and it does different colors and it'll also fade in and out. And it's only like 10 lumens. So I have
Oh,
in
wow.
the I have in the past kind of misplaced my hammock. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but you're like, oh, I want to be over away from the fire by myself. I'm not going to be woken up by people coughing or people snoring or people farting in the middle of the night. And oh, look at this comment. Jeremiah dressed like Yoda's like Jeremiah having merch. Yeah, true that. So I have misplaced my hammock in the past. And you know, you got your tarp up, it's green, and then you go to try to find your hammock, it's 11 p.m. It's been late. And you're like, where is it? And then your friends had to help you find it. That's never happened to you?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. Well, there might have been some adult beverages involved in one or two of those trips, and sometimes you misplace your hammock. But if you have one of those little lanterns there, then you'll never misplace it. So it's got like 8 different colors, and I tried it out on my overnighter this weekend, and I got to
Yeah.
say, this thing only weighs like an ounce or two. Game changer, bro. It was perfect. My wife is going to love it in the tent too. Normally I have to leave like my headlight on all night and I stick it in the top of the tent, wrap a t-shirt or something around it. Oh yeah. She's going to love this little lantern.
You don't use, like, one of the pumps that has a light on it? You don't use the pumps that have the lights on them? Or do you use the really small pump?
Now, I normally don't take a pump unless, well, sometimes if Bridget's going, she'll bring the little pump with her and it's got a light on it.
Yeah.
But in the hammock,
Yeah,
I don't have
that's
anything to pump
typically
up.
what I'll use. That's right. Well, I was just talking about with a tent, but yeah, that makes sense. That
Oh,
makes sense. So, my last gift was one that my wife got me a few years back, and it's a blank map of the United States, and you color in each of the states you've gone to backpack in.
oh, now that's awesome. How many
And I
states have you colored in?
I can't tell you right off the top of my head. I've got to go look at it. It's right now. It's packed away until we get this room done, so I can hang it up in here. So I want to say 10. I want to say 10 states.
Yeah, it's wicked, man. What is the
That sounds
furthest
about right.
one west, furthest one east?
The furthest east, I guess it would be a tie between Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, because they're all on the coast.
Oh yeah, all kind of there in the line, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all right there in a line, so it'd be any one of those states. Far as furthest west, I haven't really gone that. I guess Arkansas would be the furthest west I've been, which isn't all that far west.
Yeah, you got a little bit further to travel, man. You know how many times that we have almost went out west? There was even one trip that I think was pretty much put together and then COVID destroyed it.
Yeah, yeah, there was a trip I was gonna go. There were 2 trips I was going. One was to Colorado, and the other trip was to California, and both got killed by COVID.
Yeah, dude, it it kind of threw a wrench into everything.
And I had another trip that was off the coast of California, on an island off the coast, and that one I got a new job, and my job started the week of the trip,
Oh yeah,
so I
couldn't
had to
swing it.
cancel out of that one. Yep.
Are you still planning on doing the John Muir?
Man, I still want to. The guys that said we were gonna do it decided not to after I canceled the trip I was planning on doing. So
It's
so
tough
now
out there.
I gotta figure out when I can do that because that's a lot of time. I know I'm up for sabbatical in a few years. I may when I get my sabbatical, I may just do that during my sabbatical.
There you go. Yeah, that would be great. Let me give you before we wrap up here, no pun intended, on the Christmas gifts. Let me give you my favorite things
Yeah.
to give for Christmas. I like anything that is thoughtful or anything that you put a little extra into. And so I went with customized. So like I got Bridget some earrings that are custom with a picture of our little family and an engraving on the back. I got dad you go cats baby. Got dad a UK frame and a picture printed off and put it in there for him, and amongst some other things, but that was a custom thing. And mom a custom purse, so it's got her name and all kinds of different fonts written all kinds of different places all over her purse. So I said, Mom, you'll never get this purse mixed up with somebody else's because it's your color and your name's written all over it. Is there anything special that you like to give for Christmas, or any traditions or anything like that?
I don't know if I have any necessarily traditions, but yeah, it's a great comment. I don't know if they meant this to be funny or not, but it is funny. Perhaps John can do the long trail. I'm good, man. I'm good. I gotta get out there. Devin says we still gotta get you out here. Yeah, you're dang on right we do. Anyways, so a couple years ago, actually, you and Jason, I bought you both something. They were just little ornaments, but they were made by my friend Brian Carpenter, Carpenter Woodworks. He does all of the trails that look like they're off the Appalachian Trail and all that stuff. And he did little hiker ornaments, and I ordered some of those for us. So we all three got one of those to hang on our trees. My niece was really into writing when she was younger. And so one year, my wife and I got her a little writing journal with the really cool fountain pens that have the refills and everything for them,
Uh-huh.
and got that for her and had her name put on the book and all that kind of stuff. So that was really cool. Let me see what else. See, I'm gonna have to think of this top of my head because we talked about this like 3 minutes before we started. Um, I'm sure there's other stuff I've done that's been nice over time,
Yeah, I
but
do like
it's
the
definitely fun
Christmas
when you
one.
can do that. Jeremiah, did you hike the long trail?
Allegedly so, even though Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir, would say, hey, you didn't put out the end
The
trail
video, there's no
of the
proof.
video. So yeah, video or it didn't happen, right? I do like the ornaments, man. It's
That's
fun.
why everybody knows I don't backpack. I don't backpack because I never video it.
The ornaments, I like seeing those every year because it brings up the memory. I got a friend at work that I've hiked with some. He's got a big old beard too, by the way. If you follow my Instagram, you've seen him on there. And he makes an ornament every year and gives it to all the teachers. And there's like over 60 teachers at my school. So I don't know if he does
Wow.
one for every staff, but there's like 200 staff. So that takes a lot of time and effort for him to custom make those every single year. And I've been working
Oh,
there 11 years. So he's poured in a lot of time into it.
I've got a buddy who does woodworking, and I had him make these like wall shelves for all my family, and they were beautiful. Um, and they said peace, joy, love across them, being Christmas time and all that. But
Uh,
had those made for each of my family members. If you were to buy those in a store, they'd probably be $150 each.
yeah.
And but he made them for me, and he goes, "Just pay me for the cost of the wood." And
Wow.
so I was able to get those for my family, and he was able to give me a Christmas present by making it cheap for me. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that's a really cool skill too, by the way. I took a technology class in high school, and you were talking about like the fountain pens or pens you can replace the cartridges in and stuff. That we had a lathe machine, and I got to make my own pens and pencils. And it's very cool, man, having the hands on, staining the wood, shaping it however you want. You can buy like little
Right.
custom pen packs and create your own pen. I guess you could sell them too. That'd be a cool little side hustle if you really like it.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a great, excuse me, a great skill.
Oh, I would agree with you 100% on that. Um, my favorite thing to give for Christmas is backpacking meals. It saves them from the dreaded mountain house. Way to go, David Cooper. Way to look out for everybody. Way to look
Yeah,
out for everybody.
good
Hey, Jeremiah,
comment.
this is our 300th episode. And honestly, man, I'm thinking we should probably take some time and let's talk a little bit about some of our favorite guests, some of our favorite episodes. If you all want to share some of your favorites, but Jeremiah, give me one of your favorite episodes.
I gotta say, probably one of my favorites is whenever you, me, Jason, and Ben, and there might have even been other people too, but I'm pretty sure that this trip was right as COVID was coming along. And it was like our last trip before everything just got locked down on the whole East Coast.
Yeah.
And we were out there, if I'm thinking of the right trip, and we said it would be really cool to take this back to our humble beginnings, because for those that don't know, the way this show started was, John and I sitting around the campfire talking, and other people saying, this would make a great show. Y'all should do this and record it. And so we did. And here we are 5 years later. But we said on this trip, let's take it back to our roots. We're sitting around the fire. We're talking. Let's have campfire conversation here. And so we all put our phones, some of us more strategic than others, in recording locations. So
are you talking about the crotch phone?
Yeah, we might have had a crotch phone situation for
For those who want to know what that means, that's not gross. What happened was Jason set his phone down between his legs. And so while we got really clear sound from everybody, you could barely hear anything except for the fabric moving on Jason's legs.
Yeah, our idea was we'd take all the separate audio recordings from our phones and then mesh them together to put this episode of us sitting around the campfire, and it just being like raw, basically, kind of like an acoustic performance for a musician. And
we did it. It's out there. It's out there. You can listen to it. I had to edit that thing, and let me tell you, that was fun.
Bro, just thinking back to the different chapters of this show, we would record episodes. We would go to each other's houses, and then I guess at some point we transitioned to doing some virtual, some at each other's houses, and we would batch record. Other times we would do them weekly and do virtual, sometimes guests, sometimes no guests. I feel like
our first, if you remember, originally we didn't do video guests at all. We were doing audio guests through the Rodecaster. We were hooking my phone up to the Rodecaster, and they would call into the phone, and we would play that over the audio. And that's how we were able to hear our guests.
Is that right? We done it via phone call.
We were doing it through phone calls. We were hooking a USB up to the Rodecaster from the phone. And so they were able to hear us, and we were able to hear them through the Rodecaster.
So I remember
that was Darwin.
Yeah, we called Darwin. That was one thing I was going to say. Darwin and Dixie were two of the biggest influences on me that had me starting YouTube. And I started YouTube years before doing the podcast. So, and John did as well. So those were two big influences that I really, really wanted to talk to. And we ended up, this was a catalyst for allowing us to talk to pretty much a couple of heroes of ours in the backpacking world. And I remember we called Darwin, and that was one of our first huge guests. Yes. And there's more that we'll talk about during the show. And we talked to him on the phone. That's right. And we plugged up. At the time, we were pretty much broke. I mean, we were working with whatever we had. I think I had some hand-me-down equipment.
I remember we were begging for a beard sponsor. Like every week, we would be talking about our beards. Be like, man, if anybody does beard oil and wants to sponsor the podcast, let us know.
Yes, I don't know. We've come a long way. We are still open to a beard sponsor, by the way. I still have this amazingly luscious beard that we'd love to make money from. But anyway, we talked to Darwin, and he called in. That's right. You had it plugged up. For those that don't know, a little behind the scenes, we have these Rodecasters. And at the time, we scraped together enough money to be able to buy one. And they're really
the first time, actually, the first one, I got my wife to give me permission to buy it.
Oh,
I just bought it out of my own pocket. Yeah, the one I'm using right now, actually. This thing has lasted for 5 years. This thing I bought, and I told my wife, I was like, this is going to help our podcast a lot. Do you care if I go ahead and purchase this? And she goes, go ahead. And so I went ahead and bought it. And then we bought the microphones and all that stuff over time. And yeah.
Yeah, I remember I bought a microphone myself. One of these.
We both did. Yeah.
Rode, whatever these
This
mics are, the Rode
this one right in front of me.
Yeah, we're scraping by, man. And then finally, we did get a couple sponsors, and it was enough to buy a second Rodecaster. So the equipment got upgraded, so the audio's better. And I had one as
Yep.
well, so we could kind of tag team it. And
And
let's
you're on your like third one, aren't you? Like they've had to replace yours twice, haven't they?
Yes, yeah. We got one, and I remember one thing that happened was I accidentally stuck the micro SD card in, because to record the audio on the show, um, it's got micro SD is the only like memory card that fits in there, and if you stick it in at the
Right.
wrong angle, it will fall into the housing of the Rodecaster unit. So I somehow got that back out. If you insert it perpendicular to the slot, then
Yeah.
or like the face where the slot is, if you insert it perpendicular to that, then it's got a little spring in there. So you can insert it and it'll click in.
Yeah.
And if you push it in again, it pops it back out. But if you go in at the wrong angle and it misses that slot, then it'll just fall into the housing of the unit. And
I didn't know you could even miss. That's crazy.
Oh, you definitely can, because I made that mistake. So, and then for some reason, I like upgraded the firmware or something, and then it just bricked it. And so then
Oh no.
they said, yeah, this thing, it's like out of warranty by a couple months or something, but they still honored the warranty. I had to pay for shipping to send it to California, and then they gave me a refurbished one and they sent it back. But in the meantime, you and I still had a show to do. So I had some hand-me-down equipment that I think you gave me. It was like a little box. It'll only support 2 microphones, and
I think we each bought one of those. Like I think you bought one like online. I think you got it on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, that's right.
I think you
ordered
got
it.
it on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, I think I've still got one sitting over here in this cabinet over here. Little Focusrite Scarlet or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but it was this little red box, and it did a good job for what it was doing. But yeah, you're right. That's how we started out doing these. And the very first episode we recorded, you recorded on your computer, I recorded on mine, and when I got your file, our files didn't match up.
Yes,
like the audio got stretched or something.
Yes, I remember, and we had to figure out how to synchronize the audio, because doing a show, the best way is to have like native audio from all inputs. You want their raw audio, and then you could put it all together. That's why we were trying to do it. But for some reason, even with the same programs, the same like actual hardware sitting in front of us, it like we finished the show and my clip would be an hour and John's would be like an hour and 2 minutes or something. So we didn't have any weird. We had like basic editing software, I would assume, at the time. We hadn't.
Yeah, I ended up having to use Adobe Audition and stretch one of the audio files to make it match.
Yeah, because I remember you were going through and like editing clips and then like
cutting in different spots to pull it back together.
Oh my gosh, bro. And for some reason, the audio, I assume that every show that people do face this to some degree, but the audio and video equipment issues never ends, bro. Even like today.
Oh, we were supposed to start at 11:15.
Well, we're supposed to start at 11, but I texted John. I was like, hey, I'm making a cup of coffee. I'll be a couple.
And then he gets on and we had this massive echo, like this horrible echo in the sound. We couldn't get rid of it. So we rescheduled it and worked on it. Finally got rid of that stupid echo.
But it doesn't stop, man. In the comments, if you read there, Johnson's been texting me about this. I talked about him earlier, Woodall Trails. He is commenting on the show, and you know, he's a pretty loyal listener and like interactive in the chat, and his chat will not pop up whatsoever. This has been like 3 weeks in a row that he's commenting, but it's not popping up. It even says on here, Chicken Little Treks, Jeremiah Woodall Trails comments won't show up in the chat. Yeah, he was texting me last week and he's like, hey, you know, I sent this. Did y'all see it? And I was like, no, it's not working. I have no idea why.
He must be in some kind of YouTube prison or something. I don't know. Hey, gotta make sure we give a shout out real quick. We do have to give a shout out though, real quick. This is to Shorty Moto. What's up, guys? New here. Have been binge listening to all the podcasts, and this is my first live one on my lunch break. Well, thank you for joining us on your lunch break today, man. Glad to have you on. That is if you are a man. We don't know because Shorty Moto could go so many ways. But thanks for joining up with us.
Yeah, I totally agree. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, and hiking with Cam is commenting on the video rates and all that. Honestly, that was 5 years ago. No way we could tell you what's been going on. It says he's been banned. Somebody says that he's been banned. Did you ban
Have I banned Jonathan? I don't even know how to do that. Can you ban people?
I don't know.
Surely not.
I don't think if I was gonna ban somebody, it wouldn't be Jonathan.
I can hide user on this channel and I can put user in timeout. I can also add them as a moderator. I don't know, man. They're always adding new features. Those are like basic features, but I feel like there's so many features I can't discover them all.
Yeah, the outdoor girl, our outdoor dog and hiking girl. She said lunch versus dinner here in the Netherlands. So
lunch versus dinner. What?
Yeah, she's having dinner right now while he's having lunch because she's over in the Netherlands.
Yeah, Deutschland. So, welcome to the show as well.
Nighttime. Yeah. So another guest I want to talk about, and we've mentioned him, but Jason, Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir, has to be our guest MVP of all time on this show. Definitely been on here more than anybody else. And he is the reason that we have Poop Talk on the Backpacking Podcast. And it all goes back to our very first discussion on wag bags.
Let me see what
way back. Like we're talking within the first 10 episodes of the podcast, I believe.
Yeah. I'm going to see what episode that was on. But you are right, dude. His rant on the wag bags. He just cannot comprehend why anybody would poop into a bag. And I try to explain to him about the microorganisms and the breakdown of the poop and how it's polluting the watershed and it's animals eating the poop that you're putting stuff into their diet that shouldn't be in there. And I mean, there's a million different reasons why, if you're living in Utah or something and there's an area for a wag bag, there's a million reasons why you should use one. But there's zero reasons to Jason. It don't matter what you say. You might as well talk to this wall over here, wag bag or not. He ain't using it.
No, and he won't go anywhere if that's if that's the only way you can poop in the woods. He just won't go backpack there.
Yeah, he just says, "Nah, that ain't for me. I ain't going."
I think that's absolutely hilarious. Jeremiah, what's another one of your favorite guests that we've had on here?
Oh, by the way, that was episode 4. If anybody wants to see,
I knew it was like really early, but he is the inventor of Poop Talk on Backpacking Podcast. That's all there is to it.
And dare I say, I would like to formally nominate him to at some point being inducted in the Backpacking Podcast Hall of Fame. I don't know if you would endorse that or if you need some time to think on it.
I don't think that's even a question. I think that has to happen if we're going to do that.
All right. Well, let's officially nominate him as a front runner for the Backpacking Podcast Hall of Fame.
Yes. Let's do that.
Episode 4, February 19th, 2020. You can check it out on YouTube. You can check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. 47 minutes of pure joy.
Absolutely.
Called Jason Wall, Jiu-Jitsu, Wag Bags, and Jason Hates Mountain House. What a funny title. I don't know which one of us came up with that one. But.
That is definitely Jason. Like, that defines Jason to his core.
Let's see. Darwin was episode 10. Can't believe that we somehow got him on so early in the show. But to finish up what we were saying about him, you're asking me about some of my favorite episodes. Having Darwin on was such a surprise because being like one of your heroes on YouTube, and you're never supposed to meet your heroes. And not only was I impressed, I was like surprised because we talked to him, and then the show, it's normally an hour show. In those early days, it was an hour, sometimes 30 minutes. It just depends.
Yeah.
We talked to him for an hour and 21 minutes on episode 10. And that was the longest episode that we had done so far. Before that, the longest episode was 55 minutes. where we done a backpacking gear battle
Well, and
royale.
that doesn't include well, that doesn't even include the 30 minutes we talked to him before we got started and the hour that we talked to him after it was over. That
Yes,
conversation ended up being almost an hour to almost 3 hours total
yeah,
when it was all said and done.
we could have done a full 3-hour show, and if I remember correctly, we didn't have video at all. Like you said, it was a phone call. So you and I had went and got like some Cajun food or some Raising Cane's or something, and then we come back to your house and sat at your kitchen table, and we were like, all right, let's call him. And then we talked to him, and we could have done the full 3 hours. Couldn't get off the
Oh,
phone,
yeah.
didn't want to get off the phone. We were sitting there at your kitchen table, could have talked to him all day, man. I was so surprised at how cordial and how approachable and how easy to talk to and down to earth that he was. Can't give Darwin enough praise, man. He deserves everything that he's gotten.
Well, and I'm gonna go so far as to say Dixie's the exact same thing.
Oh,
Dixie
yes.
is as sweet in person as she is in her videos. Like, she doesn't turn it on for the camera. That's just who she is. We had a great conversation with her beforehand, and your wife got to talk to her for a couple minutes because of, and actually, she and your wife texted a little bit while they were pregnant, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is with Dixie, another hero that I really, really wanted to talk to. And if you haven't heard of her, she's got a YouTube channel called Homemade Wanderlust and kind of blew up as one of the first big personalities that were publishing videos like 2015 of hiking the Appalachian Trail. And we finally got her on the show. I don't know. I feel like we tried to get her on for a while and we somehow got a message through to her, and she's so genuine, so nice, beautiful person. And she had done the Camino. So I was asking her some Camino questions. And then her and Bridget, they linked up a little bit, like John said. And then her baby is just a couple months younger than mine, I believe.
Yep.
So all throughout the pregnancy, somehow my wife was texting back and forth with Dixie on these issues that both of them were facing, these things that they had in common being first time potential mothers. And I
Yep.
was like, what kind of insane world am I living in where in 2015, I'm binge watching Dixie Homemade Wanderlust, and then 10 years later her and my wife are texting back and forth about which,
Right?
pumps to get or what kind of wrap to put around their belly or what kind of sleeping pillow that they need to buy. I was like, I feel like I'm living in an alternate universe, man. It blows my mind.
Yeah. Well, the one that probably of all of them for me was kind of the most surreal, um, was when we got to talk to Skirka.
Oh, yeah, he's a
Andrew
legend, dude.
Skirka, man, he was on National Geographic, was Explorer of the Year one year. Um, he is he's more than just, backpacking famous, like, he's just famous, like, he's known all over the world for what he does, and, the fact that we even had the opportunity to link up with him in the first place is one thing, but then there's the fact that he wanted to come on a second time. Like,
Yeah,
he
dude.
requested to come on a second time. That blew my mind. He's gotta be one of my, like, I don't wanna say pinch me moments, but one of those moments of like, "Man, we really got to talk to him," you know?
Is it episode 147 on January 18th, 2023. I think that was our first time having him on. It's called Andrew Skirka, Gear Tips, Trail Guidance, and Being a Professor of Backpacking. And then, yeah, we had great conversation off air with him, a little bit more behind the scenes. Oftentimes, we'll have our guests log in early. We'll warm up to each other. We'll talk to them a little bit before the show, tell them what to expect.
Right.
And then after the show, we'll talk to him for a few minutes, some longer than others. And he was another really down to earth guest that we hung out with after the show and talked to him. And then he hit us up a little while later and asked to be back on the show, which again blows my mind. That is, like you said, a
Yeah.
pinch me moment that I think he emailed us again with an idea for another great guest and said that he's down to be on again. So be on the lookout, man. We need to reach back out to him pretty soon and
Oh,
see if he wants
check
to
this
talk about
out. This is awesome.
2026.
This is awesome. Hiking with Cam. I designed Skirka's National Geographic backpacking guidebook around 2010-ish.
Boy, what a small world we live in.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a legend, dude. And him, I just his episode is top of the top of the listening list on all-time listens. Like his episode, it's gotten about how many listens we get now, in 2 or 3 weeks. His
Yeah.
episode by itself got more listens than that. So he's just an all-time legend. And his story about the bear and the
Oh,
poop,
yeah.
oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
He was such a great guest. Rue McHenrick, American
Oh,
Perimeter Trail.
I think, yes, he's up there with Jason on the number of times that,
He's been on like 3 or 4 times.
yeah, American Perimeter Trail. Rue's a legend, dude. His lifestyle that he lives, I'm glad that there's somebody out there that can do it. I couldn't do it, but
Yeah,
he's
I'm the same way.
dedicated his life to making this American Perimeter Trail going around the entire United States. I can't remember how many thousands of miles that it is, and how many thousands of miles that he's put in, because he's putting in the legwork, literally, of walking, changing the path,
Right.
interacting with Border Patrol as he's going around the different borders, different states in the U.S. that's bordering Mexico and Canada. Got trees falling on him, knocking him unconscious, almost losing his life, staying out there in storms. It's
Wearing women's underwear.
yes, dude, that episode went off the rails. That was probably
Oh my
episode
gosh.
1 with Rue McHenry.
Yeah, Rue is definitely one of those people when you're watching his stuff about the trail, you don't realize the character that he is, but he is a total character.
Oh, yes, dude.
Total
And
character.
I give you another like all-time great on the characters. If y'all haven't seen Shug Emery's YouTube channel, this guy, to set it up a little bit, is a professional performing artist. Dude, he is
Woo, buddy.
yes. He can juggle, he can balance, he can play instruments, he can make jokes, he can dance, he can do it all. And he had it turned on 100% whenever we had Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir. That is like his idol, is Shug Emery.
That was probably a top 5 all-time moment for me. We did that episode in my garage, all 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason was in there with us, and he was shaking before it went live. I mean, he was so nervous. So nervous. And he kept calling Shug sir the entire time they were talking.
Yeah, yeah. They're the same age.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah. Well, come on now. We're not the same age as Shug.
Oh, how old
I'm the
is
same age as Jason.
I thought he was
Shug's like, oh, he's in his 60s, buddy.
Oh, okay. I was misinformed.
He's retired.
I think my wife actually come up there too. We stayed. I bet I didn't leave your house till like 11:30 p.m. I remember we done the show. The ladies hung out together. So your wife,
yep,
my wife, and then Jason,
and laughed at us.
Yeah, yeah. They put the show on, I think, in the living rooms. They were 20 feet away. They're on the other side of the wall. But Jason, we done the show. It was a long show. And then we could not get off the call with Shug. It was a video call, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He had like the camera set up and all of us in there. And we couldn't get off because it's so entertaining, man. He had us on the hook and we had swallowed.
We couldn't stop.
Yes.
We couldn't stop.
And I remember I was like, oh God, I got to work tomorrow. And it was like an hour and a half drive back to my house from your house.
On a Monday night. It was a Monday night.
And I was like, I got to work tomorrow, and we didn't leave till after 11, but it was so worth it because hanging out, talking with Shug, and he come back on the show again and lived up to the hype. Just incredible, man.
Absolutely incredible. He's another one I would say would be a Hall of Fame nominee.
I totally agree, man. One of the all-time greats.
Yeah.
He was, did he go to, I don't know what the formal name is, but like basically clown school?
I don't know. I just know that he was with Ringling Brothers for years. That's how I met his wife.
Oh yeah, that's right, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hammock specialist, by the way, too. If anybody hammocks and you want to know anything hammock related, check out Shug's channel.
And he taught me about Turkish coffee and changed my life forever.
No going back, is there? All right, let me give you another one, dude. Ricky Vandegrift, he has one leg, and he set the fastest known time on the Sheltoe Trace, and that holds a special place.
Beat Jason Wish. Jason Wish.
He beat Jason Wish. So the setup for this is the Sheltoe Trace is over 300 miles long, and it starts in Tennessee and goes to northern Kentucky, or vice versa. You can go either direction. And Flash and John done this this trail together, and they thru hiked it. And we've told a lot of good stories from the Sheltoe Trace on this show. I've done over half of it myself, and like from start to finish, and bits and pieces of the rest of it. It holds a special place because it's close to home for us. It's a short drive, and we've walked on it a lot. And Jason Wish, who's out of Indiana, he's got this big farm, Wishwell Farms. He's got a YouTube channel and stuff too. And we met him through YouTube, became friends with him, and then he attempted a fastest known time on the Sheltoe Trace here in Kentucky. And then there's one-legged guy, Ricky Vandegrift, come through and beat the record.
Right.
And then we said, well, let's hook up with these guys, because Jason was kind of helping Ricky out to break the record, if I remember correctly. He didn't like help him on trail, but like he gave him information and stuff, and then they hooked up and built rapport. And then they decided to ride down together to John's house. And we all met up and had dinner, if I remember correctly, at your house.
We grilled out burgers and hung out, and the kids got to meet everybody, and it was fun.
Got to see Ricky's leg, his one leg. And I remember asking him, what would you say to the critics out there that say you had a built-in advantage because you didn't have to carry the mass of that extra leg? You had a piece of equipment that you weren't having to send blood flow to work muscles, and it wasn't tearing you down. And I remember him saying, here's what I'd say to those critics out there. If you think it's an advantage, cut your own leg off. And I was like, yeah,
there you go.
That shuts them all up, man.
Yeah.
That was one for the books, dude. Talking to those guys in person. I think we might have set that up. Wait a second. Was that at my house?
No, it was at my house.
Oh, okay. I feel like Jason Wish came to my house too for like a Christmas episode.
He did. He came down in December a couple years ago, and we did an episode at your house, and he was in the area because he was getting ready to hike something, ended up not doing it. And so he's like, hey, can I come hang out with you guys? Actually, we're going to do a podcast. You want to be on the podcast? So we all came to your house.
How serendipitous.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he's an all-time legend, dude. I guess he's a masochist too, because he does those fastest known times, and those just tear you apart.
They're unreal. They're unreal. I'll tell you another name that you don't have listed here, but once I name it, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. Jeff Garmire.
Jeff Garmire, bro. We went full on professional wrestling promo in one.
Oh, we did with Jeff Garmire. Yeah. He's got to be one of my favorites as far as just being funny, like just being downright hilarious the entire episode. And man, he came after you with a vengeance on the jokes. I was like, man, this guy's not giving Jeremiah like a second to breathe. This is hilarious. He was all about it. He was cracking me up.
I love it, dude. He's a genuine person, and we didn't even know each other. And he's like, oh, okay, I know. I'm going to just rip into Jeremiah and hit him hard with the jokes throughout the show. And I just took jab after jab, and it was so much fun, dude.
Oh, it was hilarious.
For those that haven't seen Jeff stuff, he's another fastest known time kind of guy. He likes 5Ks, marathons, that kind of stuff.
Ultra marathons, the Barkley Marathon.
Yes, actually, he finished the Barkley Marathon, didn't he?
Did he finish it?
Oh, I could be out there spreading misinformation. Who knows? I'm really good at that.
But I do know a guy that has finished it. His name is John Kelly.
That's true. Yeah. Wait, no. I think that nobody finished it that year, did they? He was like,
oh, no, John Kelly has finished it before.
Oh, he has finished it before, but we were monitoring to see. It was him and one other person that were still in at the time. And I think that
I'll look it up and make sure, but yeah, I'm pretty sure John Kelly finished it. And
I remember we had Jeff on multiple times, and one episode he told us all about the Barkley Marathon, which is actually very interesting. You'll have to go look up the history if you want to know more about it.
I'm gonna have to let you hear this though, Jeremiah.
Yeah,
John Kelly is a 3-time finisher of the Barkley Marathon.
Oh, does he spell his name the same?
He should, but he doesn't. But still.
Okay.
But it is fun to say that John Kelly is a 3-time finisher of the Barkley Marathon.
Jeff, author of Free Outside, by the way, a book that I thought was a great read about his backpacking journey. But he's a Tiger King. He wears Tiger shirt. He does 5Ks in Crocs. He's just an insane guy. That's a lot of fun to talk to. Let's see. Let me see if I can give you one more. Oh, what about recording in alternate locations? Because we've kind of settled in here doing a lot of these virtual episodes. John, he and I are not in the same room right now. If you're just somebody listening to the show, we're recording this through a website or app called Riverside that we've been trying out the last couple months. And we have recorded at John's house, at John's new house, at my old house, and a lot of places in between, including you found this coffee shop in Kentucky called Mono's. And sometimes during breaks, we would batch record a few episodes.
Yeah, they would let us come in and just record there.
Yeah, very awesome, dude. I remember we have we'd get a couple coffees, sit down, you'd have the ambiance of the coffee grinder grinding in the background, the espresso machine, the milk frothing, that's the steamer. You'd hear slight conversations of people walking by. It's a real vibe recording in there. I really like that. And I love doing the show at J&H as well. Did you like Mono's doing the coffee and all that?
I did, but I have bad news, Jeremiah.
What's that?
Mono's is shutting down.
Oh no, we took away the backpacking podcast.
I got word about 2 weeks ago that they're shutting down, which I was really sad about because that was a great spot to do that. And they're just good people. The owner's a friend of mine, and it's just sad to see them shut down. But I mean, that's what happens sometimes in businesses. But yeah, J&H, if you want to talk about J&H, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. They told us we can come back anytime we want.
Well, I would love to. For those that don't know, if you're around the Lexington area of Kentucky, J&H is like a mom and pop sort of backpacking, kayaking, but just basically all things outdoors. But I love that they had specialized actual backpacking equipment, not just like stuff you get at Dick's Sporting Goods. It's hard oftentimes to find a good backpacking store around you locally that has actual equipment, that doesn't just have big box stuff, that doesn't only carry Osprey backpack. Nothing wrong with Osprey backpacks. I have several, but I'm just saying, wouldn't it be nice to have different ultralight backpacking stoves available to you? Wouldn't it be nice to sit in 8 different camping chairs made for backpacking before you decide on one? Wouldn't it be nice to hold up a dozen different backpacking pads and lay on them before buying one? And there's certain stuff that you can't get at
trying all the different trail runners on before you go out and trail with them.
Yeah, and REI is great for that, but the reality is that you're not going to get some of the mom and pop stuff that you would have gotten. It's just not at REI. They don't carry it. They have contracts with these big companies, and they make great equipment, but it's a different thing.
And can I say something? Maybe it's not controversial, but it might sound controversial at first. Most of the people that I've tried to talk to at REI about gear didn't know what the heck they were talking about.
Yeah, it's a little bit defeating to walk in there and you got questions for them, and then more about it, which we talk about this every week. We go on backpacking trips. We're enveloped in this world, this backpacking and outdoor world. And I get that, but you would think that, it feels negative to say that you should be the one explaining it, but when you walk in there, you ask them something and you listen to their answer and you're like, but there are also other great employees at REI, like
Melissa.
Yeah, Melissa. She is an expert skier an instructor, and backpacker. And
Right.
her and Ruby, I feel like they've been all over the US backpacking. And if I wanted advice, I would trust her opinion over almost all those other employees that I've interacted
Well,
with.
and what's her YouTube channel called?
Let's see. I had to look.
She's fantastic though. She's one of those people that when she knows something, she knows it. And very intelligent woman who man, she's been all over the place.
She's
She was one
usually
of the
on
people I
here.
was supposed to hike with in Canada or in California. She was one of the people in that group.
She might have added the ADK part. I don't remember that. Unlikely Hiker is her
Yeah.
handle, but I just looked on Instagram and it says Unlikely Hiker ADK. So, but yeah, she is. If I had to rank all the REI employees that I've come in contact with, and I'm sure there's a million good ones too, but I would put her at the top of my list, man.
Yeah, she is definitely at Unlikely Hiker if you're on YouTube. So if you want to check her out, she's fantastic, man. Melissa's great.
Yeah, I totally agree, dude. Yeah, I kind of blanked on her channel name there, but we got it in.
Yeah, and honestly, man, I think even some of the guests that maybe people haven't heard of before, one of the most memorable guests I remember us having was Chicken Tramper.
Yeah, dude.
The reason that one sticks out in my head is because those guys were just barely getting started at the time, and we gave them a national platform they didn't have before. And I remember, I don't know if you remember this, we get done recording and they go into the green room, but we can still see people in the green room. And they were pumping their fists and high-fiving because they were so excited about being on the podcast. And just great guys, man. It was just so cool that we were able to give them a little bit of a platform as they were getting started.
Yeah, Chicken Tramper, Ultralight Gear, Sea-Tug. Just a couple of guys. I think one of them went to school to be an engineer, and they met and they're backpacking. And then they started surveying people. Look, John's got the wallet there.
Wallet.
If anybody's watching on YouTube or Spotify, you can see John's literally holding up some of their gear. And I was after talking to those guys, I was like, wow. I have not seen this before. They made their frame out of carbon fiber arrow shafts. And so they're like, if something breaks, you literally can just hack off.
Go to Walmart.
Yeah, you can hack off one of those arrowhead or one of those arrow shafts from Walmart. And they had 3D printed and Velcroed in the braces or the brackets so you could slide the arrow shafts in there. And so they're just
literally, if you're on trail, if you're on trail and that breaks, you can go to the next town and there's probably going to be a Walmart. And because of where, especially if you're on a long trail, you're going to be in like places where they hunt. So you could probably just go somewhere and get an arrow shaft and put it in there. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah. It's rewarding, man, to see those guys, their company be successful and us just played just a smidge of a role in helping elevate them and help them, punch into the world.
Chicken Little Tricks is I carried a Sea-Tug wallet up to the day I made my own.
That was it says episode 80. We had them on Chicken Tramper, a cottage company success story.
Yeah.
That might have been the second time we had them on because it says we're catching up with them in the description.
Okay. But yeah, we had them on pretty early too. And then of course Ben McMillan.
Oh yeah, another legend in his own right, dude, with several different backpacking companies and backpacking companies adjacent. Like his coffee.
Hilltop Packs Coffee. Hilltop
Packs Coffee. Yeah, fanny packs, dynamic. I remember he sent us some different stuff to try out. And what a great marketing tool he utilized there on sending gear to different YouTubers to try out. And then a lot of stuff was really good equipment. And so it made it into videos. Because here's the thing, you can have a crappy product and send it to everybody. And if it sucks, people might be talking about it, but it might be for the wrong reason. So
you're taking a risk when you send it out. That's for sure.
Yes, because people can destroy that product too. And
absolutely.
By the way, that triggers a memory, dude. Oh, I'm blanking on his name now. How do I not remember? But he ran over the tent that Outdoor Vitals had sent him.
Oh, Restless Outdoors.
Restless, yes. I haven't talked to him in years. So you could be sending somebody like Restless that's going to take a car and run over it. So that just goes to show you, being actually an innovative idea of making custom backpacking ditty bags, basically, and food bags, fanny packs, etc., that you can put anything you want on there. So that was a great idea, man. I think some other companies saw that and kind of followed in his footsteps.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's just been fun. Just the big thing I take away from the past 5 years is it's pretty awesome when you get to do something as a side hustle that you get to do with friends and then make new friends through doing it and then build up a community within it. I mean, it's just been one of the coolest things. You know, you and I just enjoy talking and we were able to turn that into something we get to do for fun. Make a little extra money on the side and get to hang out with friends.
Yeah,
That's a
I
pretty
get
good deal.
little shout out, man. Rich is downstairs. He sent me one as well, but Janelle and Rob sent a little Christmas card, a little thank you card. Nice to hear from them. Baby J, so cute. Cheers. So sweet. We had them on whenever we done the live at J&H. Yeah, which was a big surprise for me, to wrap up about what we were saying on the J&H.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome us in, letting us basically take over the store and talk to Janelle and Rob, who were traveling the country at the time. They might still be doing it. Basically educating people on Leave No Trace, literally working for the Leave No Trace organization, driving a billboard of a car around with Leave No Trace wrapped all over it.
Yep. And just two really cool people. Really cool people. It's been a good year. I think what we need to do, Jeremiah, is I think we need to come back next year. Okay, so next week. But we need to come back next year, and I think we need to get serious and maybe start doing some serious nominees for our Hall of Fame. Our best guests, our best gear, the trails that we love, maybe hostels or hotels that we've stayed in. We can figure all that stuff out, but I will say this. If you're listening, if you're watching, shoot us a message. Let us know who you think needs to be nominated as members of the first ever Backpacking Podcast Hall of Fame class for 2026.
Yeah, I love it, man. Great idea. And if y'all have any great ideas for who would make good guests for this upcoming year, send us an email, backpackingpodcast@gmail.com, or just put it in the comments of the show too, depending on what platform you're on. If you're on Spotify or YouTube, throw it in the comments and we're happy to read it. Also, review the show. We got the good reviews all around pretty much on all platforms. But if you like the show, give it a review. If you don't like the show, kick rocks.
But at least kick rocks by leaving a comment or something.
Yeah.
Even the bad comments help us out a little bit. So
yeah, I agree. A little creative feedback, maybe.
There we go. Well, Jeremiah, the first 300's been fun. I can't wait to see what the next 300 bring. So for myself and you, Mr. Jeremiah Stringer, we'll catch you all on the next one.